එහෙනම් දැන් පුතා online I will first of all address online students and come because physical class students කොහොමත් මාගේ ඉස්සරහින් ඉඳන් වැඩ කරනවානේ. So online people පුතා remember that this lesson contributes දැන් ඔයාලත් අහගන්නකො මේක. This lesson contributes 200, not just a lesson, there are two lessons that we are about to discuss today. And these two lessons are contributing totally 200 marks in pure paper, which is a 10% of your 100 marks. Okay. Pure applied both together. Finally, this one will contribute 10 marks in a final exam paper. Right. Okay. So, මේ 10 marks කියලා කියන්නේ if you know short when it comes to essay questions, you have the chance to skip this question because there are 7 essay questions you will have and you'll have to answer 5 and you can skip 2. Probably most of the students, with the trend that I have seen, most of the students when it comes to pure paper, they skip complex numbers question because nama complex numbers kila thiyena hinda they think that it's complex kila. It's not complex. Are number complex numbers name එක එන්නේ because it's a combination of two types of numbers. We'll discuss about it in complex numbers part. අද කරන්නේ ඒක. But this coordinate geometry part පුතා, when it comes to the percentage of the students who attempt the question is very high. ඇයි ප්‍රශ්න lazy. Question is very easy. If you go through the last 10 years of past papers, you will see the pattern or the trend. Every year they are asking the same thing. So whatever the theories that we are about to discuss in today's class is going to be same as it is in the questions. So there won't be any like critical thinking, like when it comes to integration, when it comes to applied mathematics, the critical thinking is high. Applied mathematics, critical thinking godak bal. In pure mathematics, if you learn the understanding, the theory plus the understanding, if you get it, automatically you'll be able to do it. දැන් වැඩ පටන් ගමු. එහෙනම් ආයිබෝවන් කියලා දෙවියන්ගේ නාමයෙන් ලියන්න. Write the name coordinate geometry. I asked you to bring a 120 pages book, coordinate geometry. Write the subtopic. It's actually not a subtopic, puta. It's one of the main topics, straight line. Straight line. Use 4 colors. 4 colors means not each letter one color gone in a way. The main topics maintained in black color. Subtopics or topics maintained in black color. Main notes blue color. If there is something important, use a red color. If I'm asking you to highlight something in a different color, then use the additional color. Right? So notes lesson because the things that we are discussing in the theory is applicable same as it is in the essay paper. Okay? Right. So online students, I will send the tute once again in the chat box, but tute will not be needed for the theory discussion. Questions tika vitarai ekide inne. So don't worry about the tute at the moment. Listen. Right. Before we discuss about the straight lines, tell me what is a Cartesian plane? You study this one in grade 8 or 9, I guess. May grade 8 or 9 you all are discussing. What is a Cartesian plane? Well, I can concentrate. Killing. Right? What is it? Graph? XY coordinates. That's the standard Cartesian plane. So who introduced Cartesian plane to this world? Cartesian තිබ්බ බලයට ජෝන් කාර්ටසියන් කියන්නේ බබා. කවුද? අනේ මටත් නම මතක නැහැ ළමයි. කොහොම හරි ඩිකාටේ කියලා වචනයක් තියෙනවා කියනවා එච්චරයි. හරි ඩිස්කාටද something like this. But do we need that for A levels? අනේ නෑ පුතා කොන්නේ. Right. What is Cartesian plane? In our syllabus we are discussing about rectangular Cartesian plane, rectangular Cartesian plane or is right Cartesian plane. a rectangular Cartesian plane or a right Cartesian plane කියලා කියන්නේ you have two axes which is mutually perpendicular. Mutually perpendicular means one is perpendicular to the other one. We name them as x and y axis. Now if you think that when it comes to rectangular Cartesian plane, this is the only Cartesian plane that we can draw කියලා, that's a misunderstanding. The mathematics is something that explains whatever the thing that you can't see and can see in this real world. So on this space, right, මෙන්න මේ space එකේ, on the space, if you imagine, there are infinitely many Cartesian planes. There are infinitely many Cartesian planes. Not every Cartesian plane is having a vertical y-axis and a horizontal x-axis. Those are standard ones. Abhi define kara, these are standard Cartesian planes. These are standard ones. But if you take another Cartesian plane or as xy axis like this, mutually perpendicular axis, these are also acceptable. In applied mathematics, sometimes you know the gravitational acceleration in this direction, we know. We know that gravitational acceleration in this direction. But in applied maths, in some cases, I have taken the gravitational acceleration in this direction also for 26 batch. 27 batch people, still we didn't start applied maths. So applied maths me so we can define in this direction also because it's a definition. Api define karna disha. We are writing that on a book, no? So whatever the way we can define it. But to maintain a standard, we take the standard Cartesian plane. So understand that if you take the entire world, there will be infinitely many Cartesian planes. So among those infinitely many Cartesian planes, if you select one, we can see I'm selecting such rectangular Cartesian plane. What is a rectangular Cartesian plane? Two perpendicular xy axis. In this rectangular Cartesian plane, we can find infinitely many points. Infinitely many points. Right? Metana point at it can be a point here, 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 it can be a point here. And those points having a certain relation, or those points having a position value. Und address එකක් තියෙනවා. Those points have an address. With respect to whom? With respect to the origin. We usually name that one as capital O. The coordinates are going to be 0, 0. This is the origin. With respect to the origin, all these infinitely many points are having an address. That address has two coordinates. Even that address has two values. We call them x coordinate and y coordinate. X coordinate from the origin to that point, the horizontal distance was the y coordinate. From the origin to that point, that point a level the vertical distance. That's it. That's my idea. So if you take a point and if it is 1,2, it means from origin to this point 1 unit distance, from origin to this point vertically 2 units distance. If I take that one somewhere here, here I come, 2 units distance like this. 1,2. This one is the x coordinate, this one is the y coordinate. If I generally select a point, we can mark that as x comma y. This is the coordinate that represents, or else it can be any points coordinate, it can be coordinates of any point. Coordinate of any point. Coordinate of any point. It can be coordinate of any point. It can be x is 1 and y is 2 means this point. X is 3 and y 4 means some another point. If x is -1 and y is 5 means it's another point. And in this coordinate geometry section, we are planning to discuss if we take such points and if we map them in a under certain relation, a relations වල තියෙන behaviors ගැන කතා කරන්න යන්නේ. That's the core of this subject, right? So to take a start, ලියන්න rectangular Cartesian plane. Write the subtopic rectangular Cartesian plane. Rectangular Cartesian plane. Rectangular Cartesian plane. Online students, in case if the audio is not clear or video is not clear, please drop a message in the chat box. Huh? Ramzin, you came earlier, right? Class seminar එකට හරි ආවනේ. O level. Right. Okay, no? Right. Write the topic. Now write the note. Now write the note. Now write the note. A rectangular Cartesian plane, a rectangular Cartesian plane, a rectangular Cartesian plane is made of two mutually perpendicular real number lines. Two mutually perpendicular real number lines. So remember, x-axis is a real numbers line, y-axis is a real numbers line. This is a Cartesian plane. But when it comes to complex numbers, we will be discussing not this kind of a Cartesian plane, a real number line and an imaginary number line. A real number line नहीं है कोई, imaginary number line नहीं है कोई, तो मैं गन. That's in complex numbers, right? So we'll discuss about it in that case, right? So now, how do we mark a coordinate on a Cartesian plane? We start from the basics. Since grade 9, starting from grade 9, we are going to discuss. So I'm going to take a XY Cartesian plane. Okay. Listen. What is the XY Cartesian plane to the y-axis? Perpendicular to that, we have x-axis. We can draw like this. Or y-axis perpendicular to that x-axis. This is also another way of representing a Cartesian plane. But when it comes to standard one is like this. This is the origin. Everyone is having an origin. I'll mark the origin 0, 0. If I take a standard Cartesian plane, that's the one where they are going to discuss x-axis, y-axis, and I'm going to mark some coordinates. This is 0, 0. Let's mark some coordinates. 2, 3. So this is the coordinate which has the x coordinate 2, y coordinate 3, x coordinate 2, y coordinate 3. This is the address. Remember, always we write the x coordinate first and then the y coordinate. Mukadda repeat karan kya the sentence. What did I give you? A rectangular Cartesian plane is made up of rectangular Cartesian plane is made of created using two real number lines. If you have that idea, that's enough. Syntax galapala, grammar galapala, you write it. Okay. So basically, there is a real number line. There is also a real number line. So we draw a portion of it only. This one can be extended infinitely from the left side and the right side, up and down. Okay, vertically up and vertically down, we can infinitely extend it. There are infinitely many points are there. I'll take another point, minus 3. Five again. So this is minus 3 comma 5. Always remember, we write the x coordinate first and then the y coordinate. Minus 2, minus 4. Minus 2 comma minus 4. This is just an introduction, something that you already know. Draw these ones, and then below that, marking a point on a Cartesian plane. These are Baba works, puta. This is not A level. A level right. So I'll take 3 and minus 3. This is going to be another point, 3 comma minus 3. Oh no. So just show some coordinates, that's enough. I just wanted to show you the quadrants and the 4 sections that we have. Right. In this section, what do we have? You see, x coordinates are positive, y coordinates also positive. In this region, x coordinates are negative, y coordinates are positive. Here, x coordinates are negative, y coordinates are negative. In this region, x coordinates are positive, y coordinates are negative. So you should have a basic idea of these regions. Okay, you should have a basic idea of these regions. All right. So we know that with that, make a note. We know that if you take a xy coordinates plane, let's take a point which represents all of them. It can be any point. We say that x comma y can be any point. What is x? From the origin to this point, the horizontal distance is x. From the origin level to this point, the vertical distance or as vertical length is called y. So y coordinate gives you this height, x coordinates gives you this length or horizontal distance from the origin. So with that, make nika podda dagantagala. Okay. ඊට පස්සේ යමු ළමයි අපි තියරි කතා කරන්න. It's just a simple small introduction.